Last time on Dragon Ball V, Lord Champa alerts Vegeta that the Saiyans of Universe 6 are in trouble. Their greatest warrior has perished, and known only to the readers. The Tuffles responsible let his partner go for sinister reasons. They also received word that the Tuffle race thought to be destroyed in a civil war has mysteriously returned, and more powerful than ever. A while ago, it appears one ship has caught another in a tractor beam. A pilot informs his commanders it's causing their systems to malfunction. They can't move. King Sadala curses that their goal must be to take them alive. They could easily just destroy their spacecraft. Spotting a fellow Saiyan who looks suspicious. It's the same guy as before who the Tuffles let survive. He glares back at the king with a dead-eyed stare, withdrawing a type of bomb. It's unveiled he's possessed by one of the Tuffles. Luckily, Sadala is able to put a mask on his face before inhaling the, presumably, poison gas. Through the mist, two figures begin to materialize. Of course, the aforementioned Tuffles. Sadala figures these must be the two rogues he's heard so much about, demanding they explain what they want. The possessed warrior grins. They have big plans for the Saiyans, but before they can execute their plan, they need him. The king scowls. The Tuffles have always been greedy. Everything their people touch turns as gray and dead as their consideration for others. They need to just accept their empire's gone. Though, they're aware of the Tuffles' destruction. After all, they are the ones responsible. They wiped the planet clean so they could rebuild the empire anew. The pair explain how they were Suferian royalty, loved and adored by everyone. But over time, they both fell ill. Their father robbed planets of their resources to create his new Super Tuffle Empire. His goal was to free the Tuffles of the dangers of normal biological life. He tried everything to save them, but despite all his attempts, he failed. Destroying a nearby monitor, he curses, what can they do now? They're gone! When a mysteriously familiar face expresses, there is another option. The top military scientists have developed a supercomputer capable of reviving its children using their DNA, but new and improved. They would be Super Tuffles, but they would need resources, and not just any. The substance needed is only available on ancient planets rich in nature. They have a machine capable of draining said planets of their resources, and they could use it to create these new Super Tuffles. They would just need to find suitable worlds. Their father agreed to do whatever was necessary to ensure their continued existence. As the Mohawk figure says, nature is destined to die for the improvement of the universe and the Tuffle Empire. The previous instructs him to order his top military agents to find suitable planets at once. After they've drained their resources, they will continue to develop advanced cities as well and sell them so they can sustain this process. A while later, the character we later find out to be named Pero takes satisfaction in the sight before him. He questions a scientist how he pulled it off. And yet another familiar face is presented to us, Dr. Plum, to expand the Tuffle Empire and improve the lives of their own kind by any means necessary. With the plan coming together, Pero thinks that since their programming is complete, it's time for a family reunion. Alerting their father, King Tuffle, the former begins to escort him to the lab as new children are being held. But they're shocked to discover Dr. Plum, dead on the ground. Hero would soon meet the same fate, as the king tries to convince the twins it's him, their father. They initially seem to greet him with a very casual and accepting tone. As he approaches, Orin tells his sister it's for his own good. She questions if he's ready, although a group of soldiers is already waiting outside, making easy work of him. Orin takes a hair from one of the fallen fighters, placing it in a test tube. He whispers for everyone to worry not. They will all return. As more assailants enter the room, they confidently smirk. Well, back to work. Back on the ship, the rest is ancient history. As King Sadala knows, the planets King Tuffle targeted were under the protection of the Sadala Defensive Force. The Saiyans have outposts spread throughout the galaxy. He and the elites are going to be very useful for their plan. Speechless, the king only mutters, "You monsters!" and then ushers Kamen to proceed if ready. A group of Saiyans rush to check on their king, asking what happened and if everything's okay. He tells them he's fine. Everything is perfect. With our heroes, Kappa calls for everyone's attention. This is Vegeta, the Saiyan from the 7th universe, and one of the warriors who helped restore this universe after the Tournament of Power. The king wants them all to train to become Super Saiyans. Vegeta is the one who taught him, and now he'll help them all reach the next level. He tells Kappa that's enough, narrowing his eyes. He demands all on attention listen well. He has no intention of playing hero. He's here to help them all prepare so they can solve their own problems. It is true he promised to restore this universe so he could see this planet for himself. So they all better take him seriously. From the few Saiyans here he's already faced, he is not at all impressed. In fact, he has personally faced many threats who could wipe them all out with ease. Someone in the crowd can't help but exclaim, Vegeta here must be known as a great hero in his own universe. The Prince of our realm initially only smiles at this. He then states, Kappa told him the threat they all face are space pirates. Where he comes from, he was born into royalty. His empire destroyed and sold planets. This admission causes a wave of discomfort to wash through the room. He then tells how, actually, they took the Tuffles planet for their own. He tells everyone they're lucky. If anybody knows the dirty tricks their enemies have up their sleeves, it's someone with experience on the matter. In this universe, the Tuffles are the one plundering planets. Vegeta has thrown his past aside. They can think of him as they will, and while he may be here to ensure the survival of the Saiyan race, if they all prove to be unworthy, he will kill everyone here himself. He demands they all report to the training area immediately. While they do that, Kappa would like a word with his mentor. Vados gave him a set of clothing, claiming it's from Whis. At the arena, from what Vegeta's gathered, the Saiyans here took a step forward in their evolution much earlier than the ones from his universe, which works well enough for him. After all, Saiyans are a hyper-evolutionary race. Regardless, it's time to get down to business. The Super Saiyan transformation is triggered by rage, but once they've learned the technique behind Coming One, it's possible to replicate it. The Saiyans of the 7th universe all had tails. They relied heavily on the power of the Grade 8 transformation they allowed, which was a mistake in the long run. It robbed them of any obstacles that would allow them to adapt and become stronger. He himself lost his tail in battle, and due to evolving and raising his power level, his body felt it was no longer necessary and it was time to ascend. Giving them a glimpse of what they should be aiming for, he goes on to tell how Kappa mentioned the Saiyans here don't have any recollection of having tails. To him, this means they have been ready to ascend for ages, into Super Saiyans, and beyond. Then showcasing Super Saiyan God, he explains this is the destiny of a warrior race. He achieved this power all on his own, which means they all can too. Not forgetting about Super Saiyan Blue as well. Kappa has left the entirety of them in the dust in terms of power. His level is far beyond any of theirs. Since he is the most powerful, he wants them to face the 5 most powerful Saiyans here, alone. He doesn't hesitate to accept the challenge. Vegeta abruptly calls off the fight, and none too soon. He wants to make one thing clear. If they aren't careful, they're going to make the same mistake of relying on Super Saiyan the same way his own people did with the Grade 8 form. Leaning on Super Saiyan too heavily will inevitably slow down their progress. He tells them not to be afraid to push themselves to their limits so they can be broken. That's how he himself evolved to attain power rivaling the gods themselves. He forced himself to evolve through obstacles, a trick he learned from an old friend. It's time he puts on display what they're truly capable of. Be sure everyone here has a family, people they're terrified to lose. The people they care for can be a great source of power, so he suggests they all dig deep, because if they can't prove themselves to be any more than a pathetic disappointment, then he will destroy this entire planet. Everyone, behind me! Using the powers of a destroyer, Vegeta erases a collective energy beam from the Saiyans below. Above the planet, he whispers, "There is no good, there is no evil, only progress, and before creation comes destruction." With nothing else they can do, Kappa commands everyone to lend him their energy. Fending off the blast, a red gleam surrounds Kappa. And looking around, several Super Saiyans now stand in the battlefield. One asks, "Did we win?" Realizing he has become a Super Saiyan god, Kappa calls out to his master. And naturally, this was his plan all along. With the Sadala Saiyan army gaining immense strength, how will they fare now in future conflicts? And what is the new form Vegeta just displayed? Has he transcended into a god of destruction? Also, with King Sadala being possessed by the Tuffles, is it already too late for the Saiyan race?